Welcome to Trending Niches episode number 44. This week I found a lot of really interesting trends for you both on Amazon and on Redbubble as well, so let's jump straight into it. First off, let's talk about a few designs that you need to avoid. A lot of these are trending, so watch out for them. This first one is Mama's Boy, and the main part that you need to avoid is this mask right here for the O. So this mask is from Friday the 13th. It's Halloween related. It's a brand intellectual property, so stay away from it. They also put Friday Halloween t-shirt at the title, so they definitely know what they're doing. Do not copy this person and never use that mask in your designs. Next up, we've got a trending design that always does well for Halloween, and it does seem pretty harmless because it's just the letter M, but this actually alludes to the M&M brand of sweets. So essentially people are trying to sell these as M&M costumes, and these are definitely a dangerous one to sell. Even if the letter M is not trademarked, they're definitely using the M&M brand right here to get sales, so that's why it's not permitted, and these are very likely to get removed from Amazon. Another design style that you should stay away from is this one right here with the pumpkin eating ghosts. This is very reminiscent of Pac-Man, a popular video game, and there was a bestseller last year with this sort of design style, and I cannot find it now. It had a lot of sales, it was doing really well. It was one of the best selling Halloween t-shirts last year, and that one seems to have been removed, so that should give you enough evidence that these are definitely dangerous. Even if you see them doing well, even if they've been uploaded for a while, they are very prone to getting removed at some point in the future, and that definitely gets your account into trouble. And lastly, this is a design style that you will see in multiple different colors. We've got it for yellow mustard right here, but you also see a lot of ketchup bottle designs, and these are taken from the Heinz brand, right? It might not say Heinz on there, but it is still copying their packaging and using their brand for getting sales. So these, once again, are a Halloween costume that you will see trending over the next few weeks. This one's doing super well, but don't copy this style. It's not allowed. It is someone else's intellectual property. So the first trend I found for you on Amazon is Let Me Ask My Wife, and there is a ton of designs in this niche, in this trend, that are very recently posted, and you can see that by these little new badges right here within Flying Research, and below the design you always see when it was published. So we've got the bestseller with 19 days ago, we've got 3 days ago, 3 days ago, 10 days ago. All of these are super recently posted. The ones that don't have the new badge are also only like 2 months old. So this is definitely a trend right now. I'm not sure why, but there seems to be potential to get sales with new listings. And what I would say to you here is, if we look at the bestsellers, they all pretty much look the same. Very similar layout. The only one that has a bit of color is this one right here. And scrolling down further, there's not too much variety. I mean, this retro design with the bars, that's the most original one, maybe, out of the lot. But if you wanted to enter this trend, try and stand out in the search results. Don't just copy what everyone else is doing. You're going to have a harder time to get eyeballs onto your listing. So use some color, use some additional graphics, use some different fonts, and that should help you have a higher chance of getting a sale with this trend right here. And by the way, I found this trend, or the trends for this video, in the Seller Trends tab over here within Flying Research. This is your best friend if you're looking for new and emerging trends on Amazon Merch. I'll show you the settings that I used as well. So I've got it set to .com, t-shirt. I sorted it by newest for the last week, so a 1 week period. And I set this right here to newcomers, the BSR range I set under 1 million. And then if you scroll through, you see some of the most recently posted designs that have started getting sales already and have a good BSR. So this is a good tip for anyone who's looking to enter trends in the lower tiers. The Seller Trends tab is definitely super useful. Trend number 2 that I noticed is a bit of a sub niche for Halloween. This one is Boo-G, and I was a bit confused when I saw this at first, but if you Google the word Boo-G, this actually stands for a word with the same pronunciation, just a different spelling, and it says it's relating to or characteristic of a person who indulges in some of the luxuries and comfort of a fancy lifestyle. So like an upper class word, I guess, I don't know. And essentially we see a lot of ghosts holding a drink with like a handbag in the front, and it just says Boo-G on top. And there is a lot of designs that are recently posted again. So we've got 15 days ago, 16 days ago. This one's got a cowboy hat as well, by the way. We've got 29 days ago. Most of these are very, very recent, and there is a lot of good BSRs in this niche. However, I did notice whilst scrolling through these search results, again, all of these designs are so similar. Like, fair enough, some of them are on black t-shirts, some of them are on white. We've got an asphalt, so there's a bit of variety in the background color, I guess. But all of them are just a ghost holding usually the same stuff, and it has Boo G sort of arched around the top. So if you look through the Halloween niche, you will see a million different design styles that you could, recreate for this niche as well, and just try and be original. I mean, this is like the only other layout that I've seen with the 3 ghosts and then Bougie underneath, but there is way more design styles you could try with this phrase for this trend. And if you're stuck with design styles, I actually made a video a few weeks ago showing you 13 of the best selling Amazon merch design styles so that you can apply them to your own designs and niches as well. So make sure to check out that video if this is something that you struggle with, if you don't really easily come up with new design ideas for an existing trend. So rather than copying this exact layout, I would definitely approach this niche in a different style. Next up, we've got twinning with my bestie, and this one seems to be doing really well. Very interesting phrase, and in general, I think the twinning niche could be good to have a look at. We've got some other designs right here with arrows pointing. We are twinning from left to right, so that's super interesting too. Now, I will note a lot of these BSRs right here are extremely low, but these designs are actually in the climate pledge friendly category, which means, the BSR is not as good as it might seem. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out one of my recent videos where I discussed this new update and these changes and how we now have to sort of analyze or look at BSR ranking. These designs are selling really well, but they're not selling as well as you might think with like a 9K BSR. I don't think this design is actually getting hundreds of sales every single day. It might be getting, a few dozen a day, which is still amazing. So lots of designs doing well. Nonetheless, we've got quite a few new listings as well. So once again, you can see the new badges here for these smiley designs, this sort of more simple text design on the left. There is a lot of groovy fonts, a lot of very colorful, vibrant color schemes. We've also got a rainbow design at the bottom. We've got 2 people holding pinkies. Then there is this right here, 2 girls holding hands. That almost looks AI generated to me. But I think the gist that you should be getting here is that this is mainly aimed at girls, right, or women, and you're going to have to cater to that audience with the sort of design style that you're using. Try and be original, as well as sticking to your target audience, and I hope this trend can help you get some sales. Trend number 4 is make Nebraska mediocre again. This is a super interesting trend or niche because literally all of the designs with this phrase are only 1 or 2 days old. There is 3 designs which have had sales. The top seller is sitting at a 270k BSR, which is, by the way, not the climate pledge friendly category. This is the the normal BSR that we're used to, and there's only about 200 results for this specific search term. The make Nebraska mediocre again shirt search term. So this could be a very, very brand new trend that you can sort of enter early. I don't know if it's going to have a massive amount of search volume because there is only 3 shirts that have had sales, but that does show that there's interest, and you might be picking up some easy sales because it is fairly low competition. By the way, if you have this case in Flying Research where there's barely any shirts showing up, if you're using the best sellers tab, what you can do is you can copy the search phrase. You can then head into the real-time research tab, paste it into here, and then hit search. I did that for this search term. It takes a while, but it essentially pulls listings or indexes new listings from Amazon Merch into Flying Research, so you get a bit more of a detailed overview of what's actually out there. And as you can see, there is more than 3 designs, right? And all of these are posted in the past 1 or 2 days. This first one, that is a really old design, but actually says make Nebraska great again, not mediocre. And if you scroll through these, you've got the typical political style looking designs. And I also noticed at the very bottom, this is the first ideogram design that I have seen in the wild. It is all spelled correctly except this little piece right here, but that definitely does look like ideogram. So very interesting to see AI's art being submitted as well to these trends. There is some potential here for sure. I can't obviously guarantee that it's going to take off or actually, get a lot of sales over the next few weeks, but because it is so low competition and there's definitely some indicators of demand, I think this is a trend worth testing out. One of the biggest trends over the next few weeks is going to be breast cancer awareness. This is a highly competitive niche, I'm not going to lie to you, but it sees the most sales volume next to Halloween shirts when we're looking at October. So I have to shout this out. There's a ton of designs right here with extremely low BSRs. I think, again, that quite a few of these are in the climate pledge friendly category. So, you know, bear that in mind whilst you're looking through this niche. However, you know, we're only at the start of, well, we're at the end of September still, and breast cancer awareness is for October. So this is already showing you how much is possible with this niche, considering there's like a million different designs, a lot of different styles, and they're all getting super low BSRs. And you do see designs that are more recently posted, right? It's not just old school designs with tons of reviews. We've got a couple right here. This is 77 days ago, 76 days ago, 49 days ago. So it's not impossible to enter these niches with new designs. It's not easy, don't get me wrong, but as I always say, you have to make an effort to, you know, find sub niches, to find cross niche ideas. Oftentimes we see breast cancer awareness mixed with Halloween. Here it might be one example of that with the skulls and the witch's hat. We've got pumpkins at the top, so that is always one way to look at it, right? Combine two trends that are happening at the same time. You will also see a lot of designs right here that are related to sports. So we've got football right here. Then this is volleyball, I think, which is super interesting. Then if you see her fight is my fight, that makes me think there will also be men who are fighting breast cancer. I know it's obviously more rare, but it does exist. So maybe that is a potential sub niche, I do not know, but it's worth double checking. So yeah, basically bear in mind, don't just use the broad phrases, try and find more specific ideas that are targeting a more niche audience within this breast cancer topic. Then you would have hopefully a higher chance of getting a sale because your competition is going to be less for those more specific long tail keywords and search terms. Moving on to another Amazon merch trend which is currently emerging, and that is October is my birthday month. Yes, the whole month. That's the entire phrase, and there's a lot of designs that are already doing really well for this. Over the next few weeks, obviously, this niche will be getting quite a lot of sales, and as you can see by these top sellers, there is cool ways to sub-niche here. So you could be targeting different genders or ethnic groups, so that is one specific route to go down. You could do it for boys, for girls, for women, for moms, you know, you could do it for all sorts of different people. Then I also noticed this design, which is pink, which kind of looks like breast cancer awareness. I don't think that's what they were trying to do, but maybe you could mix those two topics as well. That is a way to think about it. Then we've got these two designs, both of them recently posted, this one 5 days ago, the other one 21 days ago, and this one is mixed with Halloween, right? So October is my birthday. Yes, the whole month. This design is getting sales. It's very recently posted, and again, it's like mixing two topics together. So definitely check out this niche or this phrase. It has some potential to get a lot of sales over the next few weeks, and there is definitely a lot of different ways to approach this, so you're not just using the phrase with like some plain font and making it harder to stand out. I mean, that is kind of what this person did right here, and they are getting sales 5 days after launch, so I don't know how they're doing that. Maybe they're pushing it with ads, but you know, try to be a bit more creative, and hopefully that way you'll get some sales for this trend during October. Trend number 7 is our first one on Redbubble this week, and this one is Disco Ball Strawberry. Very, very random. It's got 20 results. As you can see right here, it's got the little trending arrow indicated right there, and this made me think, because even though it's you know, quite random, maybe look at this for other fruit as well. Like if people are looking for strawberries as a disco ball, think of other objects, whether it is food or something else that you could turn into a disco ball, right? So interesting search term. Never would have thought that something like this sells, but there seems to be some demand for it on Redbubble. So and very, very little competition. Maybe this is something you can try and generate with AI as well. I mean, it is quite simplistic, this style, but it's worth giving a shot, in my opinion, if you are using AI tools. Moving on, we've got Garifuna, which has only got 96 search results and is currently trending on Redbubble. And this one is quite interesting. If you don't know what it means, I didn't know either, don't worry, but on Google it essentially says the Garifuna people are a people of mixed, free African and indigenous American ancestry that originated in the Caribbean island of St. Vincent and speak Garifuna. So what that means for you is take a look into their culture, their heritage, some of the things that they're into. And I think the obvious part is that they like yellow, black and white. I think it is their flag. Yeah, here we go. There's a few listings with the Garifuna flag on them. So those colors are very dominant on these designs, but I'm sure that this sort of trend could translate into evergreen sales as well, because it's so low competition, and there does definitely seem to be some interest for it. I don't know whether it is the Garifuna people themselves wanting these shirts, or if it's people who visited them. Probably the latter, right? Travelers might be, really into these sorts of t-shirts. I don't know exactly, but we've got this design style as well, American grown Garifuna roots. That's a good idea. A good design style in general that you could apply to many different niches with lots of different flags and countries, or different regions of countries. So Garifuna, super interesting. I'm really glad I found this potential evergreen niche, and I'm pretty sure you can get some evergreen sales for this if you're not getting them during this trend. And another location-based trend on Redbubble is East Ham, and there is a part of London that's called East Ham, but I think this niche is actually mostly related to East Ham in Massachusetts in America, because that is what seems to be showing up in a lot of these titles and designs. And we've also got this Cape Cod phrase that shows up quite a bit, so I'm guessing that is some sort of location in East Ham. It is not a very big place, only a few thousand people that live there. However, I'm guessing that there's a lot of people traveling to this location, and that's perhaps why it is trending. So interesting niche. I do always like these sort of location-based ones because the designs are super unique and interesting. Well, not all of them, perhaps, like some of these pictures, they'd be harder to replicate, but some of the design styles that you find amongst these location-based ones, like this sticker, for example, do look really cool. So check out the East Ham niche, currently trending on Redbubble, and once again, I'm pretty sure this also has evergreen potential. Moving on, we've got Jesus Ultimate Deadlifter with 131 results. Fairly straightforward, a funny phrase. It's mixing, two popular topics, Jesus deadlifting, or Jesus working out. And I could imagine, trying this, if you don't have a graphic, trying this in, say, Midjourney or another good AI tool, and seeing if you can manage to generate a graphic of Jesus lifting a barbell. So yeah, not too much to say about this. Fairly straightforward, print on demand niche, a funny phrase, a graphic, and it's currently sort of in high demand on Redbubble, which is definitely very helpful. And lastly, we've got flute jokes, which is super random, but I still wanted to show you this trend because there's a lot of interesting designs right here that you could utilize as scalable designs as well. So for example, we've got, in case of emergency, save my flute first. So you could swap out flute for other instruments or just other things that people really care about and would want to save in an emergency. And this design style is also interesting for stickers because it has that super bright red color. It's easy to make out, and yeah, I wouldn't see that working too well on a t-shirt, I guess, but for a sticker, it seems to work very well, that design style. We've got Relax the flute players here, so you could swap out flute for other instruments. Again, got good taste in music, bad taste in men. There's not even the word flute in there, but you could swap out the graphics right there in the middle for other instruments once again. And yeah, in general, I think this search term is a cool one to look into because it does give you a lot of inspiration for other niches as well. So yeah, take a look at the flute jokes niche and maybe bear that in mind as well for other niches that you might want to enter, that some people type in the main topic plus jokes to try and find a t-shirt or a sticker. So maybe add that to your listings for any future sort of SEO sessions. If you want to learn one of the best ways to sell print-on-demand products on Etsy, make sure to check out this video next, where I show you my step-by-step process using my designs.